Hello, dear soul. Greetings from me and Mother Nature today. So I've been encouraged strongly by Mother Nature herself to go on here on this video and talk about the feminine energy flow and why it is so important that you allow it in your being and align to it time-wise in your outer world, so to speak. So we have a partial lunar eclipse coming up this Friday, I think, and the lunar is tied to the feminine energy flow. And it's in Taurus, which is very much related to the earth. And the lunar eclipses give us an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to release some old patterns very strongly. So we have like before this date and after this date. And you might feel like I do, that there is some really agitated energies at the moment, that we are really asked to go and allowed to really dig deep into receiving ourselves as we are and redefine what it means to be a female in this world and what it means to be a feminine being, regardless of if you're a man or a woman. So really, what does it mean to have these beautiful feminine energies running in your body? And some might think it has something to do with looking feminine or just being a woman in general, but it's very different to that. That is just one way of expressing, and we might have chosen a very uniform way of expressing that before. I'm not guided to go into depth with that, but really understanding that when we allow our own feminine energy flow, we will know what it means for us to be feminine. And what she's sharing is this idea of the feminine energy flow. So I can share my own experience with this. I started really integrating around 2 years ago, where I was very much in the old template. I had this idea I had to make things work on a certain timeline, make deadlines, really be focusing on when should I do this, be as fast as possible. In many ways, in many situations, I might have had maybe 1 month to respond, but I was feeling that the faster I could do it, the faster I could get back to a person, the better it would be. And so what I felt all this last 2 years is a gradual adaptation to understanding that that's not how nature works. That's not the energy flow of the balanced feminine energy. The balanced feminine energy works on divine timing, and it allows the flow and it allows the energy to move into the experience before you actually have the experience. So you don't push to get a certain outcome or to get a certain experience, or one thing is better than the other. You really allow the energies to flow in and be what directs the experience. So it might also be that you're never going to get back to those people you thought you were going to respond to, because you feel that the energy will just never move there. And it's not to be confused with us hiding or us not respecting other people. And that is very, very important, because that might have been how it feels in our body at this point, if we're getting agitated because we feel we should do something on this certain timeline. But really, what we ask the men to do is to allow it to take the time it's going to take, allow it to run the process in the body, because the highest outcome is not to respond as fast as possible, for example, or to do things on a certain timeline. The highest possible outcome is for you to flow with the energies in you. So how does that feel in a human body? So what I experience for myself is I can, for example, have something I need to do on this date, before this date, or that's how I perceive it. And I can get very agitated thinking about if I was going to do it right now. But when I allow myself to just have the process of moving with the energy and allowing what needs to be released to be released, and I allow myself to really feel this experience and what it's meant to teach me, not like a learning lesson, something bad, but really, where am I reconnecting with some parts of myself that I need to reconnect with? And then at the divine timing, it might be exactly on that date, it might be before, it might be slightly after, but it will always, the universe always have this whole orchestration plan. But sometimes we will see that there was another deadline underneath that we as a human being were not aware of. And then we will see that even though we passed maybe this deadline, there will be another one coming up. It has already been orchestrated, and from the higher place, our archangels, our guides know of that, because we are, of course, orchestrating it all ourselves. And that is also what we're meant to see at a higher stage. And you might not be there right now, but what we are meant to experience at one point is how everything is just related into our present being, and it's perfectly orchestrated and divinely orchestrated. So what I'm guided also to say is that these past days, I feel like a very agitated mind brain energy. So we had an election in Denmark yesterday, not the national, not the big one, but some smaller elections all around the country. And there's really a lot of energies flowing around in those situations. So what I felt like, it was like my head was just burning. I felt these energies coming in so strongly, and I was not supposed to do anything about it except for holding the space for me. So just when there was nothing in the thoughts, it could just be this feeling of have my head really expanded. But if there was a thought about something coming up that was like negative thought, or something that had to move in a certain pace, it would start spinning. So maybe you're experiencing that now, that you have a lot of things that you think you have to do now. And Mother Earth just said, easy. Remember divine timing. Is it really something you have to do today or tomorrow, or have to get done? Yeah, and you can feel like, oh, what happens if I don't? People would get angry with me, or this won't happen. But know that the universe has the broader perspective. We as a human being does not have the perspective. Maybe the one you're going to send it to is going to get sick just on that deadline and will not see it for another 2 weeks anyway. So but the universe have all these details figured out. It's not for us to figure out. So that was really what I wanted to share with you. And the feminine energy flow is just to flow with the energies, just to really feel, when is it now? When is it time? And allow yourself to be directed towards when and where and how by your intuition. And be confident in that. Be confident, trusting those guidelines, these guiding that you have for yourself. So that is all for today. So take a deep breath. We all are just here for the experience. It's just a game. There's nothing you have to make at a certain time. Time is an illusion, and that is what we are also meant to see. So as long as we buy into the concept time, or the concept lack of time, it's going to exist in our world. The moment we just release that idea, it doesn't no longer exist inside our body as a frequency, then it's not going to exist in our outer world. But to reach that point where it doesn't exist inside of you, need to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. It's not just going to happen from one day to the other. It's an integration process where you try it out, you walk some steps and see that it actually is true. So that was all for me and Mother Earth today. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Bye for now.